In 2025, the U.S. will ban immigration from 5 Asian countries. This change is shaking things up, and in today's video, we'll quickly tell you which countries are affected and why. Let's dive into the shocking new visa rules and see what's behind these big changes. Number 5, Bangladesh. Why is Bangladesh on the U.S. immigration ban list in 2025? The most significant issue is visa overstays. Why is this a big problem? Many Bangladeshi nationals legally enter the U.S. under work or student visas, but a large number of them stay longer than their permitted duration. Overstaying a visa is considered a serious violation of U.S. immigration laws, and it puts a strain on the immigration system. The problem is not just about individuals staying illegally, but also about the difficulties it creates for U.S. immigration authorities in tracking people's legal status. When too many individuals overstay their visas, it becomes difficult to manage and increases the number of undocumented immigrants. But the issue goes beyond overstays. There's also a concern regarding Bangladesh's slow deportation cooperation. Why is this a problem for the U.S.? When people from Bangladesh are ordered to leave the U.S. due to overstays or other immigration violations, the Bangladeshi government has often been accused of not accepting the deportees promptly. This lack of cooperation leads to delays in deportation processes, making it harder to keep track of people who should be leaving the country. The U.S. sees this as a serious challenge to maintaining order and enforcing immigration policies. So how does this affect the future of Bangladeshi nationals in the U.S.? Under Trump's proposed immigration ban in 2025, all forms of visas for Bangladesh will be halted, including tourist visas, student visas, and work permits. What does this mean for Bangladeshis hoping to visit or study in the U.S.? Thousands of individuals will lose the opportunity to come to the U.S. either to further their education, work, or reunite with family members. Critics argue that this move unfairly punishes people who follow the rules. However, Trump's administration insists that the ban is necessary to uphold the integrity of the immigration system and send a strong message to countries that don't cooperate in deportation matters. The result is a significant barrier for many law-abiding Bangladeshi citizens who now face limited opportunities to visit or migrate to the U.S. While some argue that the ban is too harsh, Trump sees it as essential for addressing visa abuse and ensuring that other nations follow the rules. Oh, before we go to the next country, comment down below where you are watching. We love to know where you are from. And now let's go to the next country. Number 4, Myanmar. Why is Myanmar included on the U.S. immigration ban list for 2025? The main reason is the instability in the country. Since the military coup in 2021, Myanmar has been in a state of crisis. Why does this matter for immigration? With ongoing civil war, ethnic conflicts, and resistance movements, Myanmar's government has lost control over much of the country. As a result, there is no reliable way to vet people coming from Myanmar, particularly refugees and immigrants. This makes it difficult for U.S. authorities to properly assess whether people from Myanmar might pose a security risk. Immigration from countries with unstable governments is a major concern for national security, and Myanmar's ongoing conflict only deepens this problem. Beyond instability, there is the challenge of insufficient documentation. Why is this an issue? Refugees and immigrants from Myanmar often lack the necessary identification papers or other documentation needed to establish their identity. This means U.S. immigration officials are unable to perform the proper background checks, increasing the chance of allowing individuals into the country without knowing their full history. In a time when national security is a priority, such gaps in immigration vetting are seen as too risky to overlook. What is the result of this ban for Myanmar? Trump's 2025 immigration plan includes a total shutdown of immigration from Myanmar. This means refugees, family reunification, students, and tourists will all be impacted. For those seeking safety from the violence in Myanmar, The doors to the U.S. will now be closed. Critics argue that this decision is unfair, especially to innocent civilians who have no role in the violence. However, Trump's administration sees it as a necessary step to prevent potential security threats from entering the U.S. What will be the effect on the people of Myanmar? Many who were hoping to escape violence and find safety in the U.S. will be left with limited options. Families who wanted to reunite with relatives will now face an uncertain future. Humanitarian groups have condemned the decision, stating that it leaves vulnerable people stranded in a country plagued by violence. For Trump's administration, however, the focus remains on national security, even if that means denying assistance to those in dire need. Number 3. Malaysia. Why is Malaysia on the U.S. immigration ban list for 2025? The main reason centers around illegal immigration and visa overstays. Why is this a concern? A significant number of Malaysians who enter the U.S. legally on work or student visas end up overstaying their visas. Overstaying a visa is illegal and it complicates efforts to track and regulate immigrants. Malaysia has been flagged for not doing enough to prevent its nationals from overstaying their visas or working illegally in the U.S. The Trump administration argues that this failure to enforce immigration rules raises national security risks, as it's harder for U.S. officials to know who's in the country legally and who isn't. In addition to visa overstays, Malaysia's lack of cooperation with deportations is another significant factor. Why does this matter? The U.S. has requested that Malaysia take back nationals who are in the country illegally, but the process has been slow and inefficient. When countries refuse to cooperate with deportations, it sends the message that they don't take immigration laws seriously. Trump views this lack of cooperation as a serious issue and believes it weakens the U.S.'s ability to enforce its laws. What does this mean for Malaysia? The immigration ban proposed for 2025 will include restrictions on tourism, student visas, work permits, and family reunification. Malaysians who had planned to study, work, or visit family in the U.S. will now be denied entry. This is a major setback for many, especially for those who have built strong ties to the U.S. over the years. What will happen to those already in the U.S.? While the ban won't affect current visa holders, it may prevent future generations from coming to the U.S. for opportunities. Critics argue that this is a harsh response to what is essentially a systemic issue in Malaysia's immigration enforcement. For Trump's administration, the goal is clear: enforce stricter immigration laws and send a message to countries that fail to cooperate. While this may impact innocent people, the decision reflects the administration's focus on cracking down on countries that don't uphold U.S. immigration rules. For Malaysians, this means reduced opportunities and a strained relationship with the U.S. in the years ahead. Wait. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. And now, let's go to the next country. Number 2, China. Why is China included in the 2025 U.S. immigration ban? One of the main reasons is national security. The U.S. government, especially under Donald Trump, believes that some Chinese nationals use student or work visas to secretly gather American technology, research, and military information. These activities are often called espionage, which means spying for another country. The concern is that people are using schools and jobs in the U.S. to steal ideas or inventions and send them back to the Chinese government. This is a very serious issue for the U.S., especially in areas like science, defense, and artificial intelligence. Another big reason is intellectual property theft. Many U.S. companies have said that their ideas, designs, or inventions were stolen and copied by Chinese businesses. Some of this theft, the U.S. claims, is supported by the Chinese government. Because of this, Trump wants to reduce the number of Chinese nationals entering the U.S., especially those working or studying in fields like engineering, robotics, and computer science. As a result, Trump's proposed 2025 plan includes a ban on student visas, work visas, and research exchanges from China. This means that Chinese students who want to study in U.S. universities or researchers who want to work with American labs will not be allowed to enter the country. Tourists and business travelers may also face stricter rules. How will this affect people in both countries? Thousands of Chinese students who dreamed of studying in the U.S. will lose that chance. U.S. universities may lose top students, and U.S. companies might miss out on skilled workers. It will also make the relationship between China and the U.S. even more tense than before. Does every Chinese person coming to the U.S. pose a risk? Of course not. Many people come for honest, personal, or academic reasons. But Trump's policy treats the situation as a national security threat and uses a broad ban to try to prevent future risks. Number 1, India. Why is India now included in the U.S. immigration ban for 2025? One of the biggest reasons is the abuse of the H-1B work visa system. The H-1B visa allows skilled foreign workers to come to the U.S. for jobs in fields like tech and engineering. Over the years, many Indian workers have used this program to get jobs in American companies. While many follow the rules, U.S. officials say some companies are misusing the system by hiring large groups of Indian workers at lower pay, pushing out American workers. This has caused a lot of concern in the U.S., especially among politicians who say the visa program should help the U.S., not hurt it. On top of that, there has been a sharp increase in fake documents used in student visa applications. Some students have been caught using fake college admission letters or financial statements to get into the country. These cases make it harder for U.S. immigration officers to trust student applications from India, and they fear that fraud could become worse if not stopped. Another issue is overstaying visas. In the last 2 years, a growing number of Indian nationals stayed in the U.S. even after their visas expired. This creates problems for the immigration system and adds to the number of undocumented people in the country. Because of these problems, the Trump administration has decided to ban or limit certain types of visas for Indian citizens in 2025. This includes work visas like H-1B, student visas, and even some family-based visas. What does this mean for Indian people? Many who were planning to study, work, or join family in the U.S. will now have to cancel their plans or face long delays. Tech workers and students are especially affected, and some may lose job offers or scholarships. Families hoping to reunite will also suffer from this new rule. Critics say the ban is too harsh and punishes innocent people who follow the rules. But Trump's team says the goal is to fix the system, stop abuse, and make sure only qualified and honest applicants can enter. For many Indians, this new policy feels like a major setback, and it's already causing fear and frustration among those hoping for a future in the U.S. That's the latest on the U.S. visa bans in 2025. Do you agree with these decisions, or do they go too far? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you stay updated on more global immigration news.